Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today I want to do just kind of a fun video showcasing, not really a state of the collection, of course, because it's too much work for me to put a video together with, you know, every watch I have. It would take me all day to do that. But I want to do, just every now and then I'll do one of these kind of quick, kind of fun videos for my subscribers who enjoy the watch reviews and videos. And today's just kind of a, sort of just kind of a show and tell of some of the fun watches I have that are what we'd consider iced out watches, or diamond encrusted watches, basically your bling, right? And I've said it in many of my videos, I've always been a really big fan of iced out watches. Now again, I'm only going to show you, what do I have here? 6, 7 watches. Now this, I have a lot more in my collection that have some sort of gemstone or diamond or a synthetic crystal of some sort, giving you that bling iced out look. Now I will tell you that, like I've said in many of my other videos, it's really hard to find men's watches that have that bling that are of decent quality, right? Of course, you can go to companies like Jacob the Jeweler and spend $100,000 on a watch. You're going to get, genuine sapphires, genuine diamonds, genuine gemstones. But, for us normal working stiff folks, right, who don't have, $300,000 to drop on a watch, we want to get something that's going to give us a decent level of quality, but also give us a certain look, right? And the thing is, a lot of folks, or a lot of guys, won't necessarily wear iced out watches because there's kind of like a stigma with anything that's kind of bling bling like that, that you're buying some of the cheap kind of garbage jewelry you might find on like hip hop bling sites and those different kind of hip hop fashion jewelry. Remember, fashion jewelry has been around for a very long time. All kinds of folks, all different people, all different age groups wear jewelry. It's not necessarily genuine. There's silver jewelry, there's stainless jewelry, there's gold plated jewelry. And let's face it, what's the difference if you're going to wear a gold plated Invicta watch? That's not genuine. That's not a solid gold watch. So what's the difference if you're wearing something with a gold tint or gold plating as opposed to wearing something with some crystals, right? The thing is to not try to pawn it off like it's genuine. Because let's face it, people aren't going to buy that you're wearing a $100,000 watch when you're getting out of a $30,000 car, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It would be a really ridiculous way to spend your money. But, again, do what you want to do. For me, I just wanted to show you guys some of the watches I have that I consider fun and give you an idea of the different types of prices and quality you're going to get with some of these watches. Now, again, the reason I want to do this video is because I just got my brand new Bulova Octava, which I think is a pretty decent quality watch for the money, and you're getting that look, right? And we're going to look at the different kind of, different levels of quality you get. Now, remember, keep in mind, watch collecting is meant to be fun. Not every watch you have needs to be of high quality. If you enjoy wearing different things and wearing, different type watches, then any of these watches would be fun to have in your collection, right? Remember, when you wear a watch, you're not wearing a watch. Let me just. When I wear a watch, I'm wearing a watch because I enjoy something different. It's an accessory to me. It's a reflection of my personality. I'm not wearing the watch to impress anybody, okay? I'm not wearing the watch as a reflection of my bank account. A lot of guys do wear watches for that reason. Let's face it, if you're wearing a Rolex, you can say all day long, and I hate to beat the Rolex to death, but you can say all day long that you bought that watch because it's really about the quality, but that's not really the only reason. Again, I'm not trying to downplay the quality of a Rolex, absolutely, but that's not the main reason people wear that brand. They wear it because it is a status symbol. You are wearing something that when people recognize it on your wrist, they know that you spent a lot of money on it, if it is, of course, genuine, right? Let's face it, you really can't tell nowadays unless you're really going to pull out your jeweler's loop, right? So remember, that's when you're wearing a watch, again, if you enjoy the different styles out there and different types, if you are an Invicta collector, an Aragon collector, and one of the folks who enjoys the content that I put up when it comes to watches, then you probably will appreciate these. Remember, again, a watch is not meant to be something that you're showing off and so people look at you and judge you that you have money, okay? There's lots of great people out there that have lots of money who don't spend it on watches, right? And vice versa. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So, and again, if you would say, oh, I would never wear a $15 watch, then this probably isn't your video. You're probably leaning more towards buying a Rolex one day, because that shouldn't even come to mind when you're putting on anything that you own that you get enjoyment out of. It should never be about, oh, well, you know, that's what people are going to look at me and think it's fake. That or people are going to look at me and think I'm trying to show off. That should never be the reason. Wear what makes you happy. Wear what you genuinely like, okay? So let's talk about what we have today. So first off, let me just start with, this is a very old school watch. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a story when I show you these watches. This is a Geneve Elegance. And this watch is, gosh, now it's about, I think this watch is 18 or 19 years old. And this was when, back in my younger days, where you're young and you're going to dance clubs and you're showing off, and when you're younger, I will definitely admit that you wanted to wear things that are flashy, and there was an element of people looking at you and saying, "Oh, that guy must have money," right? And that's kind of, I've grown out of that attitude, whereas a lot of guys haven't. And again, nothing wrong with that. But for at the time, that it was something that I did think about. Okay, now it's not at all, because these are just really fun watches. So when I got this watch, I remember distinctly, we had a sterling silver place in our local mall, and we were all wearing the big giant chains, genuine sterling silver. We all had, some of them had the synthetic stones in them. Some of them had the crystals, whatever, the rhinestones, whatever they were made of. And we were all getting decked out and going out to the clubs back in those times. The R&B scene was big, the rap scene, and we were kind of dressing like those. Those guys in the videos dressed, trying to emulate that style. And so in the hip-hop industry, and not saying all the rappers, but ice is a really big thing, right? Well, my buddy ended up getting a sterling silver watch and bracelet combo from this place, and it was, pretty flashy, and I was always looking for something with a lot of stones. And when I saw this is on a website called Ugleam. There's different owners of the site now, but this is one of the few places that actually carried this brand. And it came with the bracelet. And I remember seeing it and saying, my God, that thing is just absolutely flashy. And I didn't realize that once I got it, I had no idea how flashy it was. When this sucker hits the light, it just blinds you. It is an amazing, well-made watch, considering, again, this is 19 years old. I've worn this to sales conferences. I remember we were doing this stupid team builder event. I checked the guy, went flying off my wrist. It landed on the floor. And, honestly, this watch is held up really well. I mean, considering it's 19 years old, there's a few stones missing. Unfortunately, the crystal is gone. I was changing the battery out of it, and I was just, all these years wearing it, never had any issues with it. Changing the stupid crystal, doing a dumb thing. I was trying to put the case back on by putting a little pressure on the top, and I cracked the crystal. So it is one of these watches that I would really like to put a new crystal in it one of these days, just because it is sentimental to me. It doesn't really have any value. It's not stainless steel, it's done some kind of alloy that's been plated. You can see there's a lot of pitting going on, it's starting to wear. But overall, I mean, for 19 years old, I mean, it's pretty incredible. And this watch just was blinged out. I mean, it is just a stunner of a watch, right? Now, I still get the bracelet to match. That's perfect. I actually wear that all the time. It's in fantastic condition. This watch was about $200 back in the day, 20 years ago, with the bracelet. Now, it's just the standard Japanese quartz. They do say that those are Swarovski crystals. However, I think it was just a marketing, tactic in order to get people to really, it's Swarovski, using that name falsely, but that's what they listed it. The next one here is more of a recent purchase. This is just an Amazon special, and I have a big fascination with rubies, any kind of gemstone, and so this is just, of course, not real rubies. This was a $15 watch, but it's a fun watch. It's made to look like the Patek Nautilus. And they have it all different colors, blue, black, whatever you want to get. They say stainless steel. I think it's just a stainless steel back. And even though this watch is only worn once, like, there's a lot of, scuffing on the back already. Of course, this is probably just an alloy. And what I should probably do is wipe this clean, because, your oils on the skin, if it's not it's not stainless steel, you're gonna create problems with anything that's plated like this. So good idea to wipe your watches down, especially really inexpensive watches like this. But pretty fun. I mean, it's too bad that the stones don't go all the way down. But once you have it on the wrist, I'll show you. It's just a fun piece for 15 bucks. You know, and the thing is, I don't wear this very often, but just because I have so many, but it's definitely a fun one for the collection. I mean, check that out. I mean, it just sparkles. I mean, it's a really inexpensive watch. I mean, even I think the hand, you can see I got a bad one. The hand flops around, but these things are just a fun addition to the collection. You know, I mean, pretty blinged out, pretty awesome. Next one here I want to show you guys, since we're talking about rubies, this is one of my original watches I got, even before the iced out Geneve Elegance, and this is my Addy K. I absolutely love this watch. It's super sentimental to me. These Addy K watches are still made, but you can't find this particular one. The cool thing about this watch is this was a watch that was larger at the time. Back when I started collecting watches, maybe 20, well, actually been collecting longer, 20 years ago, but you really couldn't find anything big, and that's when the Jacob & Company started coming on the scene. They were 47 millimeters, and nobody had seen anything that large before. Again, don't come out and be like, I know there was there's a few Russian divers out there, but nothing that was really big like that. That was kind of a rare thing. So when this watch came out, it was actually surprisingly pretty large, and I remember seeing it with the red, and I just remember, again, same site, Ugleam, and my mom got me this one for one of my birthday gifts, and just getting it, I was just blown away at the quality and how nice it is. I mean, this watch, again, is about 20 years old. It needs a battery, but, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, this did come on the red band, or red strap. I did put it on bracelet, because you guys know I'm a bracelet fan, but again, you can't find stuff like this. And again, when we're talking about quality, yes, you could find stuff like this, but these two are in two different categories. This is a $15 watch. This is about a $150 watch. Again, I'm not saying it's like on par with like an Invicta Pro Diver or anything like that, but it's a nice basic chronograph watch. Again, no name movements, but stainless steel, well set stones. I mean, for the ages thing, I've worn the hell out of this, and those stones are still in there, and it's a really fun watch. I challenge you to try to find anything that's affordable with red gemstones in them, right? I don't know if these are just regular crystals or glass, but it just gives you a really great look. And, to be honest with you, I can tell you, a lot of people are like, they'll say, oh, I can tell fake diamonds. You can tell. You might be able to tell if a diamond's real or fake to the trained eye, of course, on a much larger stone. But when it comes to diamond chips like this or gemstone chips, you can't see the difference. The only thing that would clue a person in that these would not actually be rubies is generally real rubies, not synthetic rubies, are cloudy, and these are crystal clear. So, of course, they could be other gemstones as well, but for the size on this thing, I mean, very believable. And really, for the size and the way they look, what's the point of going with the real ones, right? So it's a really cool looking watch. I absolutely love this. I'm going to wear this one today because I haven't worn it in a while. Next watch here, this is a Pin Time. I picked this up in the last couple years. Again, you guys know I love the black iced look. And this was about 15 or 20 bucks on Amazon. Really inexpensive watch, but not bad. I believe this is meant to mimic one of the Cartier watches. You can get it in the stainless, or not the stainless, the silver color, the gold color. Again, me with the black. But when we compare, a watch like this with the Curran, this one here, these watches are on a different level than even the Addy K. I mean, the quality on these is very basic, standard alloy. They're not stainless steel. They're just like a basic cheap plating, but they're fun. And that's what, again, that's what it's all about. I mean, this is a real looker. The only thing with this watch, when you put a watch like this on, weight doesn't always determine quality, but when you put a watch like this on, when you're looking at entry level, it's amazing how cool that is. It feels like a very lightweight watch, but look at it sparkle. I mean, you get this sucker in the light. The average person who doesn't know anything about watches is going to look at that and be like, damn, that thing's pretty, that thing's iced out. Like, what did that cost you? And again, if you you want to perpetrate, and say more than you should, whatever. I mean, you be you, I'll be me. I'm pretty happy saying it's $15, because I'm not trying to, again, impress anybody with what things cost. That's not why I wear watches. They're just a lot of fun. I mean, look at the bling on that. I mean, absolutely stunning. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys another watch here. This is by This is by Hello Ice, and Hello Ice is a company that's been around for a little while now. They collaborated with me maybe a couple years ago, and I opted for this one here again with that black ice, the baguette stones, very, very flashy with the rainbow bezel. My only regret is I should have went with the black bezel version. The rainbow is really cool, but I would have preferred something a little more subtle. But again, quality of the pin time, same thing. Quality of the current. You're not getting Invicta Pro Diver quality here, and you can tell when you feel a watch like this. It feels very light and very hollow, and that's because they're not using genuine stainless steel. If they took a watch like this and did this in 316 stainless steel and was a little more conscious, and not saying there's any problems with this, none of the stones have fallen out or anything, but even comparing a watch like this to this older Geneve Elegante, the Geneve Elegante is a nicer watch, but still, nonetheless, I mean, they're pretty close, and this gives you an amazing look. Remember, this is not going to be your best value. You're paying for the look and the stones. These are going to run you about 150 bucks for this particular watch, which I think, it's a little steep for what you're getting. It is a very basic watch, but I will say the Hello Ice watch, in my opinion, is a little nicer than the pin time. Very similar in weight, very similar in movements. I'm sure they're just basic, very inexpensive quartz movements, but you get those baguette stones, and they're really cool looking on this. Just a really fun watch. The only thing I don't like about the Hello Ice watch is the name. I just wish they would have chose something just a little, more subtle, that doesn't state, hey, this is costume jewelry. Hello Ice, anytime you throw the word ice into anything that is iced out, it just kind of cheapens it. It just should have picked kind of a fancy, made-up name, and I think it just would have been better for their branding. But that's what they did, and it's still a pretty cool watch. I mean, look at the shine on that sucker. I mean, just a lot of fun. I mean, that thing's just blinged out. And it doesn't look like a cheap watch. Other than the name, I just wish they would have had the logo, because the logo is pretty decent, which is just an H. But it's just having the ice on it like that, Hello Ice, I don't know. Just a personal thing. So still a very, very fun watch. Another one here, this is actually by Elgin. Elgin is a very old name in watches. Of course, this is just another kind of very inexpensive alloy watch. I got this for like 15 bucks. Normally they're about 40 if you pay full retail for them. But again, another fun watch, and you're getting the Elgin name, which nowadays, it doesn't really mean anything. It's really no different than anything else. You're having a very basic, affordable watch, but you're getting those black and silver crystals. Again, I've seen this one referred to as Swarovski as well. This is not. Again, depending on who you buy it from, they'll use that illegally to make you think that this is a higher quality than it actually is. But it's still an Elgin watch. It's still got the name behind it. And, ultimately that doesn't really mean anything for longevity, because really this watch is no different than any of these really entry-level watches. But what it is a lot of fun. And, I mean, look at that sucker. I mean, just especially when you get this nice weather. You hang this motherfucker out your car window and it is blinding people. It's pretty funny. But definitely, like I said, really fun, and it's definitely a watch. All these watches I just really enjoy having. It's just, even though some of them, of course, don't get as much wrist time as others, they are just a lot of fun to wear and to have as part of your collection. Now, the final watch is my most recent acquisition, and this is where you get a little bit that step up in quality. This watch is nicer than all these watches. This is the Bulova Octava. This one is genuine stainless steel, and you can tell that because it just feels more robust. It feels like a solid watch. It doesn't feel tinny. It just feels really nice. This is all stainless steel. I believe it's 316. It's done in like a diamond-like coating or a black PVD coating. I'm not really sure what they use. Butterfly friction clasp. Stainless steel threaded on case back. And then this, again, I've seen them refer to this, not them, but whoever's selling it, depending on where you buy it, as that these are 300 Swarovski crystals. And Bulova does not list that on their website. They just list that these are just 300 crystals. So pretty cool. You have them going down the side of the band there, not all the way down, just about 4 links. Total face is encrusted, bezel. Just a really fun watch as well. But when you get this watch, you will definitely feel that there's a level of quality you're getting with this watch, with a Bulova, that you're not going to get with the Hello Ice. But again, you're going to pay a lot more for the Bulova, and it's really hard to find watches that have this look. Most of the time, if you're going to get something with ice, you're going to have to get something in that, you know, $15 to $150 price range, where you're not getting real stainless steel. You're not getting, you know, a great high quality movement. And it's just too bad that nobody really makes anything that would be like a pro diver level with this ice. Now, there is a few watches, of course, I did not include in this lineup. I have a beautiful, again, the exception to that rule, Invicta, like I call it the Grand Pro Diver. It's a big 55 millimeter, fully iced out automatic watch. There you're getting the quality, right? I have several iced out bezel watches by Invicta, by Aragon. You're getting that quality there. But as far as getting something with more ice than just the bezel, it becomes very difficult to find things that are of decent quality for a good price. When you go looking at watches like IWC, I don't have an IWC, but like Freeze diamond watches, you're getting watches that they're really charging you for the diamonds. And you're paying, you know, $600–700 for those watches, and you're not really getting a $600 or $700 watch. You're getting a really entry-level watch that is probably not really that much nicer than this $150 Hello Ice. Of course, it's not going to be like a Pin Time, but you know, you're not getting the level of quality you're going to get with Invicta or Aragon, and that's what I really like about the Invicta brand. It's just I wish Invicta would start to just kind of go outside the box a little bit more, which is saying a lot. With the, you know, they're definitely doing more diamond editions, you know, but I like when Invicta does more of the crystal editions, and Invicta does more of the gemstone style editions, because when you start getting the diamond Invictas, you're looking at, you know, a lot of them are $800 to $1,200. And to me, a lot of those watches are still $250, $300 watches. They're throwing an automatic movement in them. Great, that's wonderful, but you're paying a premium for the diamonds. And with the crystals or gemstones, you can still get that same watch just with the look of those genuine diamonds. And really, to me, when you go looking at what actual diamond chips, little tiny stones like that look like on a lot of those encrusted watches, you cannot tell the difference between that and anything synthetic. They're just too small for you to actually see that. A jeweler who's properly trained absolutely can put it under a loupe and probably see the difference. You can use a diamond detector, sure, if you're going to carry that around, you need to prove it to people, fine. But to me, I just don't see the point in spending the money. I'd much rather see more of the crystal watches. I am waiting for Invicta. Invicta, if you're listening. This is my, again, I know a lot of times you hear guys calling in on Shop HQ and they're, you know, they really nerd out about the Invictas. I get it. You know, I like watches too, but some of them are a little over the top. Everybody's got an idea what they should do, right? We're going to tell Invicta, the amazing, successful company, that they're doing something wrong, right? But I think that, all joking aside, I think that everybody who likes Invicta appreciates the uniqueness, right? And I think that anybody who appreciates the uniqueness from Invicta appreciates that with all watches. And I think it's really fun with Invicta because they're always doing stuff that's outside the box. Here's my outside the box with Invicta. Invicta has not done many watches with color gemstones. They've done a few, not many. A few pro divers here and there. I would really like to see Invicta do more gemstone stuff. Synthetic rubies, garnet, different color stones. But do something like a red label, you know, and have the color be, again, I've mentioned it many times, blood red. Kind of like how the blue label's got that kind of royal deep blue. You have like a blood red, leaning more towards maroon, and then with maybe some yellow gold accents, and of course using the stones in all those. I think would just be an absolute killer combination. So Invicta, let's go, baby. Let's make this happen. So anyway, guys, I want to appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. I hope this was kind of fun to see a little show and tell of some of the fun watches I have in my collection. I know it's not all the ones with stones on them, but you know. I've reviewed all those watches before. If we look at my watch boxes, you know, I have tons of watches with stones, way more than these. Not just Invicta and Aragon, but a lot of off brands I don't wear anymore, and you know, really inexpensive stuff I got when I first started collecting. You know, the $15, $20 watches, but they're still fun to have, and I really appreciate them. These are kind of my favorite iced out watches that I have in my collection that are not Invicta or Aragon. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, guys, have a great weekend and take care.